it's still true. Hate it when you're not here, love it when I'm with you. You say you don't trust me, all the shit we've been through. Why you always upset? I don't really get you, I don't really get you. Why should I always gotta be so stressful? Baby, can you tell me why are you so vengeful?
Finally, dude, I can fucking bench press again. I realized though, like I told you and I've been telling you, you guys might need to warm up your shoulders every time. I realized like before any of my workouts, if I don't set up my upper back, that shelf, if I don't get blood flow there, everything else is more difficult. So do not skip on that shit. I promise it'll change the game for you.
Why are you so red?
I got a tan, aka a burn. I laid out in the sun. I was like laying out in the sun like this. I fell asleep. I was like, I'll be honest, I took a little microdose of mushrooms, and it was a little more than a microdose. And I was like laying on the beach like this, and I woke up, and I was like, oh fuck. And I've been rubbing shea butter all over my body, and I feel fucking fantastic. This is my natural skin color. Mama! Bradley.
Hi.
Good to meet you. Yeah, I was super like, my bad. Like my brain's fucking weird. So,
but you don't need
the bathrooms are gonna be, there's gonna be like a little area here for lighting and like photo shoots and stuff. And then bathrooms are gonna sit over here. And then yeah, the rest of this bitch is gonna be gym. Some more cardio up there, more machines. The turf's gonna run from like there to there, which is like a full turf run. Power racks over here. It's so cool to see because like there's legit nothing in this bitch right now. And then over time, like I'll show you guys the process more and more as we're building it up. I'll try and show you like as cool of a time lapse as possible. You know, updates and videos as like the flooring comes in, you know, the equipment, the roofing, we're gonna paint it, and all the little cool bars and all that stuff we're gonna have as well. But I'm fucking excited, man. Did we ever release a video talking about the lawsuit? Okay, so I'll just talk about it right now. So what's going on, guys? Bradley Martyn here. Listen, I have an update. I haven't been able to give you guys this update for I don't know how many months because you wait for like litigation and all this shit to stop and the case to be dismissed and blah blah blah. But I think first and foremost, I want to say H3H3, suck my cock. Just because, anyways, that makes sense. It'll make sense in a second. Zoo Culture was being sued by the state of California and the people of California, which didn't really line up because when the gym was open during the pandemic, like all the people were there. It didn't seem like they really had a problem with it because they were there like in the troves and they were lining up outside to train because they were told that they couldn't train elsewhere. And I kept the gym open during the entire pandemic. And long story short, I dealt with legal shit for, I don't know, a year, 2 years, year and a half. I went to court, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 times, paid lawyers. I dealt with a bunch of nonsense. I kept the gym open when they shut off my lights, and I got generators for about 3 months where like we're pouring gasoline in generators to keep the lights going at night. We got like speakers, you know, Bluetooth to play music on because they turn off our power, which was illegal, by the way, because I just want to share this too before I get into the rest of the story. The health department came into my gym literally almost like once a week, twice a week to give us a citation saying we're not listening, right? And the entire time period at the same time, there was a gym up the street that had, it was a much bigger indoor facility that got 98% less harassment. There was a gym down the street that got 60% less harassment. I know you guys can look back on these numbers, but the amount of counts I had of 8.77B, which was just not listening to what they said. And again, I felt like this was, what they were saying was not based in any sort of like data or information or science. So I was like, okay, I need to fight against this because I knew how important the gym was to me, and I wouldn't want to take it away from someone that I know how important it could be to them, right? That 16-year-old, the 17-year-old, like where I was in my life and I was dealing with my problems in my life in relationship to my childhood and what the gym meant to me. So I was like, okay, I can't close this down because I know what it would feel like to have something like that taken away from me, mentally, but also physically. And at the same time, if we're fighting a thing that is, you know, at that time was so misunderstood, you think that the most important thing you could be doing is learning about nutrition, training, working out, bettering your body, bettering your mind, bettering your, like, the thing that really bothers me about this whole situation was during the time, like, suicide rates skyrocketing, but that's not important because it's not related to the problem, right? Depression, all these things skyrocketing, anxiety skyrocketing, but none of that's important. And we're at the same time, they're saying that this is essential and that's not essential, and gyms weren't essential. And I think that concept of itself, when I first heard it, I was like, this is the craziest thing actually I think I've ever heard, to say that something is not essential for someone else when, like, you don't really know what it could mean or what it does mean to someone else, just because, like, maybe it didn't mean that to you. And then at the same time, like, let's just call essential versus non-essential. If we're talking about that, it's like someone's entire livelihood could be based on a business, and let's say they have a kid and the kid has cancer and he needs chemo treatment, but now the parent can't pay for it because their business is closed because it's non-essential. So it's like, now how are we justifying what's essential versus non-essential? And my whole beef with it was like, okay, there's no actual proof or evidence that a gym is any more of a problem or issue than the airport that never closed down throughout the entire pandemic. Not once. But it was never a problem because it was in federal jurisdiction, it wasn't in local and state level, so like they can do whatever they want. Apparently in federal jurisdiction, the problem didn't spread, which is just not true, but they were not policing it the same way because it's federal. What I always thought, I was like, okay, if it's that serious, if this problem was that serious, then why don't they say, hey, you can't fly because there's tons of people in the airport, there's tons of people in the airplane, unless it was like some family emergency or life or death, and you'd have to prove that before you buy a plane ticket. But of course, why would you shut down one of the biggest industries in the world when you can shut down mom and pop gyms and restaurants? And Costco down the street could be open the entire time, but the mom and pop restaurant that's set up the same way outside setup as Costco's food court, that's completely fine because it's Costco, but mom and pop's down the street, it's just not good because it's not essential. I just want to, I'm saying all this to say, like, the whole thing like really just irked me, and then I was willing to challenge because I had the means to challenge that system. And it's just crazy to me that I got to the end of the line and they dismissed the case. Now everything's good. Now no one's talking about this. It's okay. And it's sad because there's a lot of people who lost their livelihoods, who lost their businesses, who had to close down things that maybe they spent the last 30 years to build that got ripped from under them. And it's, you know, they don't have a voice because they're not me on the internet with a bunch of followers. So there's just so much mistreatment during that time, and I never really got to speak on it, like, you know, directly to you guys because I was going through the process, litigating and all this shit, the system, and showing up with lawyers and talking to judges and all this stuff. Yeah, I just wanted to give you guys an update and say that they dismissed the case because there was really no case to begin with. And it's sad because if I would have just said, oh no, the fees and and I would have just bowed down, I would have never got to this point where they go, actually, you know what, there's no reason to really push this case forward because there's no actual evidence or base, no science regarding the fact that a gym is any more worse than any other place. And it's just such a crazy concept to me that, like, so many people had their lives taken from them, and then because I was able to spend money to not have it ripped away, that I was able to come out on top in a sense. And yeah, I never really talked about this because I couldn't, because I was going through the process, but I wanted to talk to you guys about it. I don't know, I guess the whole point of this is, like, if you do really believe in something, sometimes it's worth it to stand up for it no matter what else is being thrown at you. Because I remember at one point when I first started dealing with this, there was an attorney, a woman, who she got the case and I paid her some money, and she was like, hey, it's best, like, you just need to make a deal with them, you got to shut your gym down, they're going to take your business license, they're going to do all this stuff. And I remember hearing her and being like, wait, what are you talking about? Because this is how this shit works, right? This is an attorney lady. And I'm like, wait, what about the constitutional things that they're completely stepping on? And I'm having this conversation with her, like, analytically, and she's like, yeah, but that's like a different situation. Like, we can, if you want to get back together with me and like come together and, you know, do this class action lawsuit, we could argue that later, but we have to deal with this now. And I was like, yo, you're fired, because why would that ever be the possibility? So I guess what I'm saying is, like, it's just crazy in this world how if you don't have enough information, if you don't have enough knowledge, like, you get completely taken advantage of. Like in this situation, people were too afraid to stand up because they don't know. They didn't know that they could. They thought they had to just fall in line, and then people just did. And I was just kind of like, fuck it, I'm gonna see what happens, because I don't think that there's really anything there at the end of the line. Yeah, I got a lot of shit for it. You got a lot of pussies like H3s who don't know anything about the actual situation or the reason behind it, and they go, oh, that's a dumb meathead guy. Like, it's a crazy situation we live in, and besides, we attack each other because we don't agree, and we think, oh, what you're doing is dumb and you're doing it for a dumb reason. It's like, we're all just trying to live, we're all trying to be happy, we're all trying to survive, we're all trying to make the most out of our lives, we're all trying to fucking show love and share love. And like, I just want to make this clear, for me, the gym, my entire life was that situation. Everyone that I've ever met, everyone that I've ever had a great relationship, it's somewhere in and around the gym, and it's changed my life entirely. I think I've been able to do a lot, at least in this world, is in the sense of making making content around the gym, making content about my life that I think has helped a lot of other people entirely, even just videos like this. And to tell someone else that like, that's not important and all this shit is just funny. And H3H, he's one of those guys. It's not an attack on that guy, but anyways, I'm just talking about that because I'm giving you an example of someone who is like completely irrational in the thought of, this is the only way to think about it. And I think we've got to a point in our life, I talk about this a lot on Raw Talk, the podcast, that like we've lost the ability, it seems, to, I don't know, show compassion for the other side, the other thought of things. Like if you're on this side of the aisle or that side or politically blah, 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 or you're just a perspective opinions, like it seems like we've lost the ability to go like, oh, okay, this person feels that way because this, and this, without going like, this person doesn't agree with me or they think this, so fuck them, they're wrong, they're stupid, right? And we've truly lost that. Like, I think we've lost the compassion to understand the other side. And I think that's the bigger issue here that is like becoming more and more of a problem that we should really think about. So anyways, I love you guys. The gym, we're fucking solid. We're opening a new gym here in Encino, but I had to make sure we were good here, that if we had to shut down, we didn't have to pay that rent. But yeah, during the pandemic, it was like, you're just getting fucked. You were getting fucked. If you were a business owner, you were getting fucked. If you were like a person working for a job, you were getting fucked. We were all getting fucked. But there were some things that just disproportionately really affect at least business owners at the time, because it seemed to be like, you weren't essential or medical or something that was like, I don't know, federal. You were getting treated disproportionately, and it is what it is. But I guess the moral of the story is, we're fucking live. We're back, baby. There's no fucking stopping us. Zoo Culture 2.0 right here. Bigger, better, brand new equipment, brand new everything. More cardio, more equipment for the ladies. I'm gonna show you guys all this stuff coming soon. And yeah, let's have more fucking compassion for each other. Like, just because you don't agree with someone doesn't mean like they're just wrong. It means they went and they came from somewhere else in their life and they learned so much and they learned so many different things that maybe you couldn't relate to, so that when they say, oh, I believe this or I feel this or I think this, you know, it doesn't make them wrong. It just makes their perspective different. It makes it unique. But trying to have compassion to understand and say like, okay, I see where you're coming from. That's the thing I think we should get better at as human beings. I love you guys. I'm out of here. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Most importantly, go to podcast, Raw Talk. Do that shit right now. On IG, it's Ask Raw Talk. On YouTube, it's Raw Talk, Bradley Martin Raw Talk, whatever. Subscribe to that. It's my favorite fucking type of content. I appreciate you guys so much. That's it. I love you. I'm out of here.